Actually, I put that in for the next bill, but I'm in favor of this.
For the next bill?
But I'm in favor of this one too, and I just wanted to align. I thought that was a very interesting exchange we just had, where the member from Portsmouth asked about financial exploitation, and a member of the House leadership was baffled, because also you can think about this bill was the guns, and this is a long bill that deals with many issues and only deals in passing with firearms. So it's kind of, but certainly this is a very large problem, but elderly abuse is a very large problem, including financial abuse, and this is a good bill, so I support it.
Thank you.
Looks like somebody had a question.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks for taking my question. Representative, how do you feel this bill impacts due process?
Well, the abusers can have their firearms taken away, and then of course the vulnerable adults may themselves have firearms, which so that's I mean, I think there's a large amount of due process, and it's a very difficult issue. I think this bill, if I've seen, has quite a bit of due process, and it deals with many issues other than firearms. So.
Good follow.
Thank you. How can there be full due process if the rules of evidence are not followed in the bill?
Well, I should be able to answer that, because on the Judiciary Committee. I think it means the formal rules of evidence can't be followed, and there's an appeals process in case somebody is dissatisfied with the results. So, but.
Question?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for taking my question. Did I hear you right that a bill which has some good parts in this case, financial issues, and in another case has firearms issues, that we often pass it just because it has one good part? We don't necessarily have to pass it because it has a bad part.
I mean, I'm not on the committee. I mean, it's the bill's in your committee. I'm not a member of the committee. There will be a work session. You're free to, if you think everything's great except for the firearms part, you're free to amend it, and the majority of the committee in the full House may or may not approve it. I may or may not vote for it. So it's not really my call at this point. So it's up to you. You want to put in an amendment, you're free to go to OLS and have one drafted. But I mean, I think certainly protective order that can't. If we have protective orders that can't address firearms, that's a pretty big issue. That's something that can be extremely harmful in the wrong hands. So I think that might make the bill pretty ineffective, but you're free to give it a try.
Representative Fields?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. You mentioned that that we have a problem in this state, but do you feel that we're creating a problem because we do a bill that creates this to come up? Because we're adding things. Do you think that's what we do here? Because I haven't heard a big problem out there from anyone. So I don't know where you've heard it, and I'd like to hear it.
I mean, certainly firearms are pervasive in this state, and you know, people who are vulnerable may not use them the right way. They may be more vulnerable if somebody else uses them. I mean, it's, once again, this bill's in your committee. If you think it needs to be reworded, you can have an amendment drawn up, and that's not really, well, I don't have to worry about that until it goes to the full House.
Thank you. Representative Burt?
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and thank you, Representative, for your testimony. I don't know if you're aware that firearms is mentioned 22 times in this bill.
Mm-hmm.
Would you oppose if there were, because elderly abuse, you know, my wife works at an elderly home for 35 years. I'm very aware of, sadly, the abuse that happened. What that policeman did, you know, he should be in jail for a long time.
I'm sorry, which policeman?
He mentioned.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Would you support the bill if we took care of the true meaning of elderly protection and remove the guns out of it to make the other side happy?
I have not seen the amendment. I mean, I also see it mentions animals a lot. I'm definitely, that's something that's maybe also concerned. You can draw an amendment. You can see what the committee does, and I'll personally make my decision when it comes to the full House. And so that's I'm not a member of this committee, so, it's not really my call how it's amended, so,
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
thanks,
You got one more, Madam Chair?
Oh, Representative,
And thank you for your testimony as well. Do you have any opinion on whether that you believe the court should follow the traditional rules of evidence?
in this, I guess I'm in the Judiciary Committee, I should know, I'd only be speaking myself, so it depends, there's different rules of evidence for different types of proceedings, so this involves a protective order, so that, aside from that, I don't know, that's enough.
follow up?
Yeah.
So let me just be specific. This bill does not require the court to follow the traditional rules of evidence. So essentially, there is no evidentiary rules that would apply. I'm asking, do you support that concept?
I don't have a good answer for that, so I sound like, I know I probably sound like a dummy, but I mean, it's different types of proceedings, have different forms of evidence. The court order still has to, if the court order is wrong, it can be overturned and appealed down the road, so that's,
Perhaps we can move on because
Yes,
we have a
move on.
lot of other people here.
There may be-
Anybody else have
yes.
a question?
yeah. I didn't even know I was gonna speak on it, and maybe I should have just declined the chance to speak, but that's okay.
Thank you. Captain Cooper?
Crop tape.